I think military history is really cool, so I got these old East German medals. This one was for being, I think it was an outstanding mentor in the youth paramilitary organization. That was just outstanding service in the youth paramilitary organization. That one was for, quote, faithfully fulfilling the duties of building up socialism, usually awarded to border guards and stuff like that. And this one was for a year and a half to 2 years in their equivalent of the Army Reserves. Now, old medals are cool and all, but what's even more cool is the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ. So, when World War II ended, there had been about 600 German members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints killed during the war, and about 2,500 were missing. And most of the ones over in East Germany ended up fleeing and becoming refugees trying to make it to the West because they knew that the Soviets were not very friendly to religion. And sure enough, when the communist regime in East Germany began, they cracked down on the preaching and practicing of religion and stuff like that. But they were a bit more lenient than some other nations. They did allow them to meet together and stuff like that. They would just send spies every time. So, it was what it was. But at least they weren't being, shipped off to gulags on the regular. Anyways, many of them would try and cross the border into Switzerland to try and go to the temple. And if there's anything that the communists in East Germany hated more than religion, it was trying to leave the waking nightmare of living in East Germany under a communist regime. So they stopped letting them. One day, a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles, which is the leadership of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as the First Presidency, he visited East Germany and he was meeting with an official and he was asking them, hey, can they pretty please have permission to go to Switzerland? They just want to go to the temple and then they'll come back. And he's like, well, we don't really trust them to leave because, they're living in a waking nightmare. It's a communist regime. What do you expect? But then he made a rather unexpected offer. He was like, why don't you just build one here? Now, that was something that you never would have expected to hear from a communist politician, right? Like, why don't you build a religious edifice here in my country? But sure enough, they offered, and so they ended up actually building the Freiburg, Germany temple, and it was for a long time the only temple on the east side of the Iron Curtain, but it allowed the saints to continue visiting the temple and to worship a bit more openly. Obviously, they couldn't still preach or say certain things. They're subject to all the regular restrictions of communist dictatorship, but they were able to kind of hang in there during that long period of just awful travail a lot more well than a lot of other countries were able to that had far harsher restrictions. But it's pretty neat, in my opinion.